Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
Yo, it's Tavon Greatness Patterson. Want to listen to Hot 702.5 on the go? Download the Hot 702.5 app on the Apple Store or Google Play Store if you got an Android like me.
Let's get it.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Cheryl Underwood, and you're tuned into the hottest news station on the planet, Hot 702.5.
Yeah. Jones, hey. Greg Deville was at it, man, hey. If you want the real, holla at Greg Deville, he'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. If you want the real, listen to Greg Deville, he'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. I'm talking real estate, building wealth, making money for your family and yourself. Now tune in, we here to help. Now tune in, we here to help. You wanna be a broker, you wanna be broke. You wanna be the joker, you wanna be the joker. You gotta bring more to the table than your hope, dreams and wishing. I can feed you fish or I can take you out fishing. I can show you the vision, addition and division, mathematic equation. Make the money flip like an acrobatic, amazing. Greg Deville help you build the foundation. I'm saying, if you want the real, holla at Greg Deville, he'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. If you want the real, listen to Greg Deville, he'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. I'm talking real estate, building wealth, making money for your family and yourself. Now tune in, we here to help. Now tune in, we here to help.
All right, Las Vegas, good afternoon. Greg Deville, your cousin, your nephew. We back on the air. It's a Thursday, 3 o'clock, and this is what we do every Thursday at 702.5 FM. We are excited, as usual, to give you great information. As you know, I am the broker owner with my lovely wife, Marquetta, the Queen Deville. Deville Realty Group, the name you need to know right here in the Valley, with 3 locations to serve you. We are excited about wealth building through real estate. That's right. Build your equity, create wealth, and guess what you can do? Take that equity and move to the next level, right? Investment, residual income. That's right. We're talking creating wealth through equity. Listen, I've got some new funding coming out on the 23rd. We're getting $42 million. We got to use it or lose it. That's right. $42 million up to $29,000 per household. We've got to help families get into homes with no money down. That's right. You've got to qualify. And when I say qualify, the requirements are you got to have at least a 620 minimal credit score, at least, watch this, at least 2 years on the job. Now, many of you have been on the job, 7, 8, 10, 20 years, but you haven't owned a home. Listen, we have a great testimony of a young woman who recently got her keys with Deville Realty Group. Guess what? She never owned a home. Her family for 2 generations, no one has ever owned. She broke the generational lineage by owning a home. Guess what? Man, right now, she got keys and nobody in her family for the last 2 generations. So now she's able to leave something to her children. So this is what we're talking about, creating wealth through equity, generational wealth. This is what we want to do. So, this money's going to roll out. I've got a meeting on February 23rd, next Thursday. So by next Friday, I will know on my Friday talk show at one of our local radio stations, we'll be talking about it. But heads up, this program is going to be rolling out. Now, here's the deal. Secret sauce to this, right? You've got to have some skin in the game. If you've got at least $7,500, we can match it times 4 up to $29,000. Isn't that great? That's right. So it's some skin in the game, some FICO score, some work history, and of course your debt ratio is important, right? So this money we're getting, it's allocated to you. We got to use it. It's toward grant funding. For those of you that work a 9 to 5, you're out there, you work. saving the money for the down payment is always an issue for many families. So we've come up with a way to combat that problem by getting the funding from the federal government. They're giving the funding. Listen, you got to keep the house at least 3 years. Listen, 3 Christmas trees, 3 Thanksgiving dinners, 3 Easter baskets, however you look at it, right? 3 of them. Now, in 5 years, let's say you keep it 5. You refinance or you sell the house, you pull that cash out, you put it on a residual income. It's so many opportunities. You could do a HELOC, you could do a refinance, or you could sell, guess what, and get the whole 100%. Now, we're doing a lot of families right now that are doing HELOCs, home equity line of credit, where they're taking the equity out of the home. We just gave keys. I gave 2 sets of keys on Friday, two different ends of town, right? So we, Aliante, then I had to run about 5. So I gave them at 11 o'clock on Friday morning. And then by 4:30, I had to be in Henderson, Green Valley, in Whitney Ranch, actually, giving their home. They used their HELOC, right? Home equity line of credit. Took that credit out of the home and put about $80,000 on the next home. Just simply, and then they'll rent out the other house. They got the home with the pool, 5-bedroom. They got a master bedroom with dual fireplace. I mean, dual sided from the tub. You can see it. I'd say, y'all getting ready to have another baby. They got little kids. I'm like, here's another one about to go down. Real talk. And listen, this is what we do at Deville Realty. So look, get a pen, tell a friend. Greg Deville, 702-787-7559. Greg Deville, Deville Realty Group, right here in the Valley. I've been in real estate over 38 years. I've been in real estate. I came from the construction side, flipping properties. My dad raised me in the business. Guess what? I moved here in 2001. Working for a lot of real estate companies, helping flip homes, improve property. 2005, I got my real estate license. Decided I wanted to also sell the homes that I flip. So it worked out really well. Today, we're the largest black-owned real estate firm in the state of Nevada. Praise God. That's wonderful for me because you don't know where I come from. So I'm telling you, to have that information, to have that pedigree, it's so valuable to my family and I. We are honored to be able to be this blessed and help so many families. So again, Greg Deville, Deville Realty Group, 7,500. Next week we'll know, but that's the peek into it. They're looking at matching it times 4. You'll need at least $7,500. We can give you up to $29,000. You've got to keep the house for 3 years. Or guess what? If you do sell the home before then, you merely have to pay back whatever amount you were given. It's up to 29. Let's say you only need 18,000. Then that's where the system max, right? It's to help you as a homeowner, first-time buyer. Now, somebody say, well, I don't qualify. Well, you may, if you have not owned a home in the last 3 years, you very well may qualify as a first-time buyer per the federal government. So if you haven't owned a property in the last 3 years, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. My brother, my sister. Yes, you're a first-time buyer. Forgive yourself. I don't care how you lost it. Now, those of you that are veterans, keep this in mind. Veterans, you have an opportunity, although you may have used your VA in the past. Maybe you lost a home, foreclosed, deed in lieu, what have you. Guess what? Or maybe you lost it over tax liens. Guess what? Even with that, you have an opportunity now to go ahead and reinstate your DD-214. We can help with that funding, get you set up, get you eligible again, right? Get that DD-214 reinstated for eligibility so that you can get into home ownership. How many families didn't know that they have used it before? Now, if you currently have a mortgage and you've got that mortgage right now, it's under a VA loan. What we can help you get with, now I'm not a lender, I'm a real estate broker. But what we help you do is let's refinance the house out of that VA into a conventional. Now you freed up your VA. Now you can go into a home with no money down, right? Because that's always one of the bigger challenges is the money down. Now, if you're in investment properties, you can. I've got an investor recently, got him in at a $10,000 10% down payment. So there's a lot of lenders. I work with about 8 or 9 lenders with different products. Now, so those of you, one more thing, those of you who have the 401k on your job. Now, the advantage to the 401k is you merely only need a 580 minimal credit score. So that's great for many of you who have credit challenges, but you have a 401k. Now, the 580s are easy to meet. right? We can get you those numbers very, very fast. We have lenders on standby as well as credit restoration services. Now, you could do your credit yourself. Let me just put that out there. You very well can do it yourself. But just so you know, for those of you like myself who didn't have time, 2015, we weren't in the right position, spoke to the lender, gave us a game plan, how to get in position to purchase our first home, right? Get back into the real estate game. Because I owned homes, I just, I was handed down the silver spoon kind of deal. But nonetheless, get back into the home ownership. 580, 401k, those are the advantages that are available for many of you. Now, I have a special guest today who's going to share with us some great information. He's an entrepreneur. Today, we're privileged to have a very special guest with us. He offers a unique lens into wealth building strategies and examines opportunities for his community to expound on the knowledge and have effective practices in which he can apply that knowledge. So he has established himself as a staple in the real estate investment sector, and I'm pleased to introduce Mr. Will Roundtree. Will, good afternoon, brother.
Hey, good afternoon, man. Definitely a pleasure to be
Man,
on with you.
I'm glad to have you, man. I'm so excited, brother. We got the Wealth Mindset Conference, man, and you already got a head start. Yeah, man, we're excited about that, brother, to have you share with so many, man, that are excited about the conference. I wanted to have you to ask you a few questions today. How did you get started as an entrepreneur? How did you get started, Will?
So my story starts back almost 20 years, Greg. I was taught just like everyone else, go to school, get good grades, get a job.
Right.
So I graduated high school, went to college, but after my first semester, I found out that wasn't the cards that was supposed to be in my deck. And so I ended up dropping out of college after my first semester, started working a 9 to 5, and I was working at this company for about 7, 8 years. Thought I was going to retire, was making good money. And then one day went to work and there were chains on the door at this company. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So this was happening in Milwaukee. And so didn't know what I wanted to do, tried to get back into the workforce, but I could never find a job that was paying me the same amount of money I was making at that company.
Right.
And so at the time, I ended up meeting a gentleman who introduced me to network marketing. And so joined network marketing. For those who don't know, that's like MLM, direct sales, all of that. Didn't really make any money, but the thing that it taught me, Greg, was personal development.
There you go.
I'm forever grateful because I often said that's what changed my life. I learned how to change my thinking. I learned how to change my mindset. I learned to value what, and believe in Will Roundtree. Yeah. And so from there, I just started to learn the different principles of entrepreneurship. And then he gave me a book by the name of Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki.
I heard.
Breakdown of the different quadrants that we are in and how wealth is created and built and generated. And so really all of that changed my life. And this was back in 2003. So I've been on this journey for a very long time.
Good, man. So look, those chains on the door did you a favor, actually.
Oh, I often tell people that was the best thing that happened to me.
Right. And that's the mindset when we talk this conference. That's what I'm getting people to get out of the fact you were going to retire, and they shut the door. My uncle did 19 and a half years on the job. He came in the gates he was a diesel truck driver for gas company with the gasoline, He came to work, man, after he was about 6 months from retirement, and he went to work and the chains were on the gate, and the company gone, right, in the middle of the night. And so what do you do? And so that's where you talked about it, man, the mindset. You started self-development, man, like, let me find out. And you found something that's powerful, man. What inspired you to start your own business? I know locking the gates, and how did you come up with the idea for your company that you're currently working in?
Well, it really started out as a personal need.
Yeah.
Before I moved to Las Vegas in 2005, I had another mentor. I've had many mentors, and I tell people that because people think like you just need one mentor. No, you may have a spiritual mentor. You may have a physical mentor. You may have a mentor to teach you on finances. So one of my mentors, who was my financial mentor, he said, Will, eventually credit will become the new dollar.
Yeah.
Didn't know what he meant by that at the time, Greg, but when I moved to Las Vegas, I quickly found out in 2005, I couldn't rent an apartment without putting 3 times the deposit down, couldn't buy a vehicle without needing a cosigner. And they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results.
That's
So I
right.
knew I had to do something different. And
Yeah.
so that seed he planted about credit made me go back and say, like, man, I got to change that.
Yeah.
And so started to learn everything about not just understanding what credit is, but really learning how credit was a cheat code on how most wealthy people created wealth.
Right.
And so once I started to learn that, I really understood that that's what I wanted to focus in on. And I really just was out. Once I saw the power of it for myself, I was able to purchase my first house. I was able to buy a vehicle with no money down. I mean, these are things I never imagined. Being from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, growing up, told by the age of 21 I'll be dead or in jail, to now being a homeowner, like these were things that I never even imagined. And so I just knew I wanted to share this information with people, and I would have done it for free, but it really just kind of morphed into a business because it became such a passion for me that, I mean, it was never about money. I mean, I did it for free for 6 years.
Yeah.
You know, business just, it was happenstance, as I always say.
Okay. That's good stuff, man. I'll tell you, again, that's why your name was placed for the Wealth Mindset Conference, brother, because your story is impactful, man. You know, for people to have gone through some of these challenges. What were some of the biggest challenges you faced during the early stages of your business, and how did you overcome them?
Man, how much time we got?
I know, and I don't want to give too much away from the conference, but these are just a few questions that I had in mind. Right.
I often tell people, Greg, I fail 70+% of the time.
Yeah.
And I want people to know that because, like, people may look at whether it's your success, my success, or others in the community and think that it was overnight.
Yeah.
Overnight is 10 years.
Okay.
And that's what I often tell people. And so, I mean, I've lost everything twice. I mean, I've been homeless. I've had to sleep in my car. I've quit jobs because I jumped into entrepreneurship too soon. So when you talk about failure, or as I call it, experiences, you name it, it probably happened to me.
That's good, man. And I always tell people, man, some of my best lessons came from some of my failures. For you was 10. For me, this is my 5th time up. My 5th time. I've come up and down, my 5th. And this time I've learned so much from the downfalls that now I'm just like an airplane after it just levels out. I'm on this. But it took me 13 years, you know, after my last fall. It took me 13 years to get right here.
Definitely.
This is 13 years, man, that some things we had to cut out sometimes to change, you know. How do you stay ahead of the competition and continue to innovate within your industry?
Well, for myself, I'm always looking at market trends, you know, and I allow my audience to kind of dictate those things.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of the times we as entrepreneurs or business owners, businessmen, businesswomen, we do what we say we feel people should want to know or hear. So you got to do what the market commands you to do. So even now, a lot of people, how I'm able to stay ahead of my competition is like I'm really utilizing technology runs my business.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I don't run my company. That's the point of being a CEO.
Right.
Your goal as a CEO is to be able to work outside your business. And so how I stay ahead of my competition is, one, always constantly working on myself. So that way I can become, 2, I'm always leveraging the newest advancements. And right now it's technology, it's AI. And then thirdly, I'm always educating myself on new processes, and not just focusing on what I'm great at of my services or product. I also focus on being a better business person, being a better leader, it's multifaceted of the things of how I stay ahead. But the biggest thing is that just making sure that you are always learning. And I constantly am still investing in mentorship. I'm investing in hiring the best people. So I mean, it's so many, that answer is so layered, but that's how I've been able to do so.
Yeah, because you kind of because this next question I had, written to ask you was, how do you talk about your leadership style and how do you motivate and manage your team? You know, you kind of spoke to a degree, but to manage your team, how do you motivate them? I know what I do in real estate in the industry that I'm in, and because sometimes you learn, and I know for me as a broker having 3 locations, my team is like 42 agents with me. Just on my team, right? So motivating people sometimes that are not motivated, it's a challenge. What do you do to deal with your team?
Well, the first thing I've learned, Greg, is that motivation is temporary. So instead of motivating, I try to inspire.
Okay.
Because motivation wears off. It's a feeling.
Okay.
But inspiring someone, that's a state of being. And so what I've also learned to do is that the same thing doesn't motivate or inspire every person the
Right.
same. So you may have people on your team that money moves them. You have some people on your team where the purpose and the journey moves them. You have some people on their team where they need to be poured into more often. Because remember, once they leave the confines of the culture that you've created, they have to go back to reality. And now they're struggling with real life versus, the Deville way. And so my thing is that, they talk about in the book, Think and Grow Rich, that the difference between being an entrepreneur and a business owner is that as a business owner, you have to be a people builder.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I do a lot of my focus on from leadership standpoint is focusing on building the individuals within my team and not just focusing on leading by fear. I lead by first being a servant,
right,
and then always focusing on how I can elevate my skills. And then one of the books that really changed my life from a leadership standpoint is The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. And it really just breaks down the 21 dynamics of leadership. Right. And it's something that you always have to constantly refine. And so that's what I focus on.
Would you agree? And this is high in my mindset when we talk about wealth. It's passion. Would you agree that sometimes some of my team members they see the money in the business, but they don't have the passion for the business? And so, for me, because I love what I do, it's easy. And people want to jump on board and they get out here and they realize it ain't easy as Deville made it look. But my passion, because even on radio, people, when they meet me, I'm 5'4", bro. People say, man, I thought you were taller than you were. Because I hear you on radio, you sound like you 6'5" and I'm 5'4". But that's the passion. Would you agree? Passion is for me, it's a 9.99. What would you state about where your passion should lie in what you're doing?
I definitely think that's one of the main ingredients that you want to have, because when I share my story, I often talk about that everything I did solely for money failed.
Yeah.
That was one of my learning lessons that I had to learn, that when I'm chasing the money, usually you run out.
Yeah. For real.
My focus is always to figure out a way to be a servant and bless others.
Yeah.
So that's where that passion comes into play, because the passion is how you create value. And as I often tell a lot of my business owners that I coach and mentor, I tell them that you're paid in the direct reflection of the value that you've created.
There you go.
To create a level of value, people have to see that within you, and that's passion. Because people can smell the desperation on your breath when you're just chasing the check.
That's good.
So it has to be some passion.
Yeah. What level would you say dedication is needed as an entrepreneur? For me, dedication, I'm so dedicated that my wife saw my dedication. She quit her 10-year career job to join my team and say, you know what, honey? I asked her, I said, babe, I didn't need another realtor. I needed administrations, right? They trained her at her job to administer training to new employees, and I thought she got paid for it, but I needed somebody who could do it. But discipline, how would you speak to that when you're bringing somebody learning this as entrepreneur? How much would you put emphasis on, having discipline in your life?
Well, here's the thing. Because discipline seems to be one of the hardest things in all facets of life, I tell people, no matter if you're trying to be successful or unsuccessful, both paths are hard. And so discipline is going to be a component of that. But here's the thing. There's two paths in life: the path of pain and the path of regret. Both of them there's a form of discipline. And so you have to be disciplined in every area, whether that's in your business, whether that's in your marriage, your relationship, your friendship, your work, your career, you're trying to get physical body in shape. And so discipline is the barometer for every single facet of success in any area of your life. And without discipline, I often tell people, you're going to always get lackluster results. And so you have to have an unwavering level of discipline. And so people who meet me, and I'm pretty sure you've dealt with this too, when people who want to be within your presence or maybe want to join your organization, when they see your level of discipline, it can intimidate them because, as I often say, time promotes or exposes you. So
Yeah.
you can't come around faking discipline with me
Yeah.
because the level of intensity that you
Mm-hmm.
have when your discipline is different.
Yeah.
And so I tell people that that's the only way you're going to see results in anything. But the beautiful part about it is like the discipline tapers down the further the more that you've created this peak. And so now when people see me, and to be brutally honest, like I have so much free time, but
Yeah.
that's because I put in 20 years of discipline.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've earned the right to create this, and now my focus has been helping other people create time freedom,
There you
other
go.
people create wealth, other people retire their spouse or their parents or put their kids in private school.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really been my focus. So now my discipline focus changes, but discipline is required in every single area of your life.
I think much like you, I like to laugh with my wife. I get up when I'm done sleeping, right? And for the many years, she had to be at the office at 8, and I'm still in the bed, right? She said, "Well, you make way more money than me, and you get up when you're done." But like you stated, discipline and having the passion. So we work harder.
Exactly.
We do. We work hard. I'm telling you, I outwork the average 60-hour work week person, right? But mentally, I've learned how to do it mentally, right? I've learned how to be able to sit here and then put stuff together and see it come to pass, right? So this question I have for you: how do you measure success in your business, and what matrix do you track to ensure you're on the right track?
So there's several different ways.
Uh-huh.
One, you have the analytical way where I'm tracking KPIs
Okay.
as far as conversions of sales. I have an entire team of about 30 people I employ, from a marketing team, my executive team, my operations team. And so every single department has its own metrics that has to be tracked. Then I have my own personal metrics that I'm tracking, whether it's my finances, I have my health metric. So there's different things, and I have different goals for different areas. But then I have a metric of the results I'm helping people create.
Right.
See, it's nothing more rewarding than helping people achieve their goals.
Mm-hmm.
That's really that's the passion that really keeps me going, because it's one thing for you to accumulate all of this success, but I'm striving for significance, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
That's when other people achieve their goals.
And I think we have a common interest in there, because much like you, I want to see now, because real estate has been my passion for so long, is I want to see everybody have some keys. I'm tired of listening to people contact me, and they've been hearing me on the radio. This is my 8th year on radio, Will. I'm literally on radio 3 days a week, commercials throughout the week, right? And people say they've been hearing me talk about creating wealth, whether you, or if you're renting, you're creating wealth. You're just doing it for somebody else. And so when you got a passion, I'm much with you on that, man. You want to pour into others and see them get. And sometimes I feel like I got more passion than they do. Then they call me talking about, well, the landlord's selling my house. And I said, well, how long have you been hearing my show? Oh, man, about 2 or 3 years. I'm like, now you call me. Now that your back is against the wall. And it's sad that people have to literally get in that position to make a move, But again, I raised 4 biological daughters as a single father. And a couple of my daughters, I had to let them hit their head. I had to let one of them fall off the bike. I told her, don't ride that bike. It's too big for you. Oh, Dad, I got it. And sure enough, she fell off the bike. Yeah. But it taught a lesson that I couldn't just speak to her about. Some people have to get it physically. Some I can talk. I got a couple of daughters, I can just talk to them and they're like, I get it, Dad. But the other ones, and that's real life for everybody. Some get it. From this conference, I'm expecting at least 70% of the people that attend, and I'm looking for about 300 total, right? That's my goal. I'm expecting that people are going to walk away with information and start doing the information that we're leaving them with. We want you to take notes. You're going to have material. Keep doing it. Many people leave conferences and they go back to the norm. That's not what we're looking to do. We're looking to give you some material. Go back and read it. I got Robert Kiyosaki, man, and Rich Dad, Poor Dad on tape. So I can listen to it even when I'm driving.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? You keep pouring it into yourself, man. So look, what are your future plans and goals, Will, for your company? How do you see it evolving over time?
Well, one of the things that I've been really focusing on for my personal goals is what I've been telling everybody are all legacy plays.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is that the reason why we know the Hilton family or the
Hmm.
Marriott family or even
Right.
Martin Luther King family is because they
Hmm.
left a legacy. And
Right.
a legacy is something that where your name can carry on and continue to
Hmm.
feed the generations behind you. And so one of my biggest things that I'm focusing on from a legacy play is
Hmm.
that I'm looking to build curriculums. I've actually
Okay.
licensed my information to different colleges, to different
Okay.
banks, different institutions. I have
Yeah.
a couple of partnerships on the table with major Fortune 500 and 100 companies. And so these are the legacy plays outside of my company being able to run on autopilot. I have things in trust. My kids are set up properly with my real estate portfolio. I own several companies, and so my focus right now is on legacy plays. It's not about money; it's about the
Hmm.
legacy.
That wow, man, and that's what we want to instill at the conference. You made a statement earlier, and I concur. Is that you? If you're chasing money, it runs faster than you,
It
right? You'll
does.
forever chase money. Like you'll never get enough. As soon as you get it, you spend it and you broke. Because we're number one, the majority in our community have poor spending habits. I'm always fussing about why do you buy so much Michael Kors? Michael never gives back to my community, but everything is, and but we don't own anything. It's one thing if you got wealth and you won't name brand, but I'm talking about people who you work every day to buy and look good, but you park your car under a covered parking lot at an apartment building. But you work on your job for 10 years. So again, to give people the wealth mindset, I go hard on my radio shows because I really want to bring people to their make them think, right? I want you to start thinking. Can you talk about a project or accomplishment that you're particularly proud of? What are you particularly proud of that you've accomplished?
Yeah. So I had an organization. Well, one of my organizations that I own. While excuse me, where I was out actually teaching youth high school students about real estate investing.
Yeah,
And so being able to teach them things that now they're going back teaching their parents
there you go.
about information that has forever and will change their entire family financial trajectory. Being able to, and then another accomplishment. I'm a college dropout, but I was doing programs at
Uh huh.
colleges.
Yeah.
I had a licensing agreement with West Virginia State University. I'm
Uh
working
huh.
on with Hampton University. And so to be able to see that this information that I've put together, I own my own IP on all of my curriculums and my products and services, and to see that people want access to it, and then to just beat the statistic of being a black male in America,
Yeah.
that's one of the greatest accomplishments to be able to be here today and give back the way I have.
That's beautiful, brother. Man, we appreciate that. What advice would you give to an aspiring entrepreneur just starting on their journey? What advice would you give?
So I have this thing where I'm saying that the reason a lot of people um, don't aspire for their dreams because they're
Mm-hmm.
pump faking with their goals.
Mm.
You know, in the game of basketball, how you
Mm-hmm.
pump fake
Right.
because
Right.
people don't really believe that they can achieve it.
Mm.
And this is why I often talk about in my 4-step methodology of wealth building is that the number one step is mindset.
Yeah.
If you don't change the way you think, you will never be successful at the degree that you aspire to be. And when I say change the way you think, it's about making different decisions. It's about how you view risk.
Yeah.
When people tell
Mm-hmm.
me that they're scared,
Yeah.
I always do a poll when I'm speaking. I'm saying, what is stopping us from getting, well, not us, what stops people from getting to their goals? And people
Mm-hmm.
always say fear.
Yeah.
And I say, I'm going to dispel that myth.
Mm-hmm.
If there was a building where your loved one was at, how many people would run in there if that building was on fire to rescue them? And everybody raised their hand. And I said, so you're not scared of fire. You're not scared of death. You're not scared of any of those things. So how could you be scared of somebody telling you no,
Mm-hmm.
chasing your dreams? So
Yeah.
we can't say that we're scared. It's that we don't have enough belief and confidence that we have enough information to get to that next level. And that's why we have to change the way we think about things. And that's really always been my focus is finding a way to change people's perspective to let them know that, that you can do it. And whatever it is you're doing now just may not
Mm-hmm.
be the thing you should be doing. You have
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people trying to do different businesses or ventures that's just not their thing. It's
Yeah.
okay to try multiple things. It's okay
Right.
to fail. I mean, I
Yeah.
tell people I fail 75% of the time
Yeah.
because you only got to find one thing that works, Greg.
Right.
And I happen to find that one thing. And so I'm going to tell people just go find that one thing and you'll be good.
Wow. I must say, man, I am honored to have you as part of the conference because your mindset is right where we want people to gain that testimony, brother. It's powerful. Your story has so much weight and volume that it inspires others, man. And that's why I'm so glad you're a part. You know, it's a lot of people you can tell, but people that are doing it. You know, I got a lot of people I know from doing what I do, and you meet people, but their lives don't exemplify what they're really saying. You know, for some people it's words. You're eloquent of speech, but you have no action. But for you, man, I mean, you're doing what you're saying, man. You got product to help others. And so again, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your afternoon, Will, man, for sharing with us. And we look forward. Now we're going to have you back because it's in April, so we still got a ways away. And we'll talk again. We want to keep people inspired. We want to educate, and we want to encourage them to get a mindset like you and I have, man. But I can't do it by myself, right? I need people like you, man. If we can both together, and we got so many others that are on the platform. So I'm extremely excited to have you, and thank you for your time today. I won't hold you any longer, man. Thank you for all the wise words you've shared with my listening audience today, brother. Thank you, man.
Mine, man. And I'm
all right.
Deeply humbled for the invite and look forward to seeing everybody April 16th.
Right on, man. And so we'll look forward. I'll be getting your information on Facebook as well as IG and all the platforms, and then share with your people, man, to come out and let's have a good time and let's pour back into our community, man. And let's see these young men. I'm trying to get John Ponder. You know John Ponder? He works with the men from prisoners, right? The Hope for Prisoners. You know, and so these young men who've come from that, they come from that. And so we want to pour into those guys. They're graduating tomorrow. So I'm excited to be in the room because I came from that lifestyle. You know, I came from that knucklehead. You know, I didn't graduate high school. You know, I stepped to college for a minute, LA Trade Tech. I think I was there like 4 weeks. And I was like, yeah, it's not going to work. You know, I went the other way, man, went the other way. But the end of my story is today we made a great accomplishments, you know, much like yourself. And so again, thank you, brother. We'll be in touch with you real soon, and peace and blessings to you. Okay. And talk to you soon, man.
Thank you. You guys take care.
Thank you. All right, Las Vegas, there you have it. Mr. Will Roundtree, one of our guest speakers. He's going to be one of our guest panelists at the Wealth Mindset Conference. You want to be there. Listen, we're going to have a great lineup. We're going to be separating. It's a men's and women's conference, but we're going to be going over to the man cave. The ladies will be in the ladies' lounge, and we're just going to have raw dialogue with the brothers. And so we want to commend brothers and ask you guys, look, bring a friend with you. The information Mr. Will Roundtree shared today, man, listen, he's going to give it to you. He's going to have some information you could take home with you, you know, some books, man, and some powerful information to not just hear about, but to continue to listen to continue to feed your spirit and your mind about great success. It's for everyone that desires to have it, right? Success doesn't have just particular people's name on it. You know, Will mentioned something earlier, you know, failure made them locking the doors, created him to be an entrepreneur. But the best thing ever happened was they locked the doors. So locking the door is not always a bad thing. It locked me out from that, but it opened over here for this. And so sometimes that locked door begets an open door, and we take the open door, and guess where we are today? We're living the life of success. And so if you want that, the Wealth Mindset Conference is going to give you information by which you can gain and ascertain more information. We're excited about it. Listen, as many of you know, Greg Deville, my team and I, Deville Realty, my lovely wife, our goal is to see you create wealth through equity, right? Don't continue to pay another person's mortgage when you can pay your own. If finances is the dividing point between getting your own, we've got you. If credit is the thing that's dividing you from getting where you want or you need to be, we got you. If you know, you just don't have a mindset, we got you. We got a conference coming up. It's going to put you in the mindset of getting to that place in your life. Maybe like this other client we just closed about a month ago. She's the first in 2 generations to own a home. Her great-grandmother owned a home, but no one since then. Her mom, no one since then has owned a home. She has broken that lineage, that I don't want to call it a curse, but that thing that has been separated, because you know what, their mindset never thought about it. So let's say she's 40, her mom may be 50 or 60, right? Well, and never owned a home. Do you know how much rent you've paid? Because we talked about it here on my talk show, right? We add up, if you're paying $1,800 a month times 12 months, that was $2,600. I think you've paid. And over the course of 5 years, you paid like $109,000. Yeah, $21,600. I had that number before. And it's $21,600, $1,800 a month times 12 months. And you've been there 5 years so far. You've paid $106,000, right? And now you're about to go into another year, which means you'll be 6 years. You'll be where? $129,000 you paid to a landlord. Now, let's say you stay in your house and you pay $129,000 off your principal. You're getting closer to home ownership, right? Because everyone has to live somewhere. My question is, do you own where you live? Do you own the place your pillow is? Do you own the place you shower and shave in the mornings, right? Do you own that space? Because if your answer is no, 702-787-7559 is the number you need to contact. Contact me directly. Now, those of you that are on a notice of default, let's say mortgage challenges have come, paying the payment has been a little, maybe you got the company, you got laid off, you got fired, your job shut down. You know, maybe the business got there one day and it was closed. And so your mortgage has gotten to be affected. Well, guess what? We can sell that home and save that equity. Now, I've helped families who were in default. One family, my greatest accomplishment was getting $435,000 to a family that was losing their home because they heard my talk show and the value that it brings made them think we could sell it before we lose it. Because had the bank foreclosed, that it was $434,000 and some change that we were able to get them in their account once we sold their home. Now, some we've only gotten 150, some we've gotten 50. I remember just before Christmas, we received a note that we closed on the 17th, and they were able to get $54,000. But guess what? Right before Christmas, they had moved out the home. They got $54,000. They were in trouble. They couldn't refinance. Here's the deal. Once you're late 30 days within 12 months, you can't refinance your house. And my wife and I were speaking this morning that, you know, there's a family member who has equity in their home, but they can't refinance it or to get a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, because their FICO score doesn't meet the requirements. Because when you missed a payment, 1, 2, or 3, your FICO takes a hit. Your credit score takes a plunge. And when that happens, the bank doesn't want to loan you anything because you have a late within 12 months. So what are we talking about now? You have 150, you have 200,000. Well, you may have to sell that home to get that equity. And it's called a pre-foreclosure sale. I mean, you're struggling to stay afloat, but you got 200 or 150,000 or 80,000 or like the other client, 434,000. And you're struggling and you're worrying until your hair's turning gray now because you don't know how you're going to make it and you're just staying afloat. Let me help you understand. Your selling might be the only option you really have right now at this time. Take the option. Listen, if they foreclose, everybody's going to know your business, right? They stick papers on the door and, this home is foreclosure, and it can be a bit embarrassing. We can sell the home. No one knows you're in default. However, they can know you're in default because it's public record. If I put an address in there and it shows if somebody's in default, you wonder why people are calling you, do you want to sell your home if you're in default? Because it's a public record. They can go down to the county assessor's office, recorder's office, and get a list of notice of default. There's agents that I train, and that's all they do is go after notice of default properties. And let's try to sell that home before you lose that home. Because if you lose it, that 400, that 100, 300,000 equity, the bank somebody said they got a check back. Oh, I think it was my engineer mentioned that once before, that they received a check. How long did it take? I don't want nobody holding my $150,000 for 2 or 3, 4, 5 years. No, let me sell it now, right? My score has already taken a hit because I'm in default. So why not go ahead and pre-foreclose sale? I'm in default anyway. Just take my equity now. Why I'm going to wait on the bank to send me my money? I can get my money and send them their money. That's how pre-foreclosure works, right? So in escrow, all the money goes in. They pay off the balance of the home property. They pay, and let me say right through here, if you have an HOA and you're in default on your mortgage, pay the HOA. I'm telling you, pay that HOA. Their junk fees are so ridiculous. I had a client owed $9,000 in just fees for being late, but the junk fees they owed $21,000. When the HOA sent their bill to the title, it was $21,000, but they only owed $9,000 over some years they hadn't paid because they had some struggles. But the junk fees, listen, the HOA are their own police. You can't regulate. They can foreclose on your home. So if you're in default in that HOA, I'm telling you now, you read your mail. I know you're in default. You don't want to read it. You say, I don't need to know. I already know I'm behind. You need to know how far you are behind, and you need to know if there's a sale date. The HOA can put your home on the auction block. I'm here to let you know how things work. I'm in the industry. I've been in real estate over 35 years, probably closer to 40 something, but 35 for the sake of numbers. But I'll tell you what, I've been licensed as an agent since 2005, and I've helped countless numbers of family who were in trouble with their mortgage. I was in the area of short sales and foreclosures in 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? I was in that era. I was that agent. I was number one in North Las Vegas, right, for sales for foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, as well as the short sale era, right? Now, I can help you get a deed in lieu and get some money. But today, if you don't make a contact, you can lose that home. At least read your mail, find out where you are. Because if it's a sale date, I can't help you then unless, if it's within a week away, because it takes a while to sell the house. It takes at least 30 days to close the deal. So read your mail, contact me personally directly, 702-349-0162. Greg Deville, Deville Realty Group, or you just text me, sell my home. If you're in default with your mortgage and you need to get the equity before they take your home, because again, if they take it, you're not going to get a check right away, if you get a check at all. Now, some have. That was my first time hearing it was the engineer. I've heard anyone get a check because they eat it up with junk fees, much like the HOA. There's so many junk fees. Like I stated, they owed $9,000 something, but with all the junk fees, when the HOA sent $21,000, that's like $11,000 in junk fees because they charge you every day you're late. Let's say it's $5, $10, $15 a day. So if you're in default, if you're about to catch up on your mortgage payment, you've got a plan, you found out how to do it, Uncle Willie or Ray or somebody gonna give you the money to catch up. Just pay that HOA because the junk fees and that, just when you catch up the mortgage, you find out the HOA is about to foreclose. So you lose it anyway. So now you got to pay all the junk fees. So hear me well. Pay the HOA. If you're in an HOA, pay the HOA. Open that mail, please. I've had so many people who, I'm glad I heard you, Deville. I opened my letter. I found out, man, in a couple months, they're going to put it on the auction. Guess what? We were able to do a pre-foreclosure sale. Now, does it mean you'll never buy again? Absolutely not. The client that I got $430,000, they paid off the cars, they paid off some credit, and guess what? Within 8 months' time, because they had a lease, so we had to wait 8 months because they did a year's lease. But really, in about 6 months, they were ready to go. Their scores had come back. Now, once you lose it, you pay things. You only need a 580 credit score. If you're a veteran, I can get you in with a low 550, right? Because they have some great lenders. They have some great lenders. 550 credit score, VA, get you into a home. No money down. For someone just tuning in, I mentioned February 23rd, there's a meeting going to be taking place about a new program that's coming out. Listen, this program is going to give up to $29,000. You don't pay it back. You just got to keep the house at least 3 years. It's going to give you $29,000. If you meet those basic requirements, You work on a job. You've been on at least 2 years. Now, let's say, for instance, you've transferred jobs. Well, guess what? That's okay. We'll give you credit for the previous history. As long as you're in the same, if you were a truck driver, you changed companies. You were a nurse in Chicago, you're a nurse here, right? You're in the same public relations, you're still in public relations. You just changed jobs, right? You still get the credit for what you've done. So now, have we helped families who have sold their homes to get another home eventually? Yes, we have. I've helped families who get their home and start over. And now they've learned what to do. They've learned how to be careful with your spending habits, because a lot of it really stems from poor spending habits, okay? So again, we just got to be careful, but there is a brighter day. We can see the forest for the trees. We can see it because we've got a game plan, right? We flying a drone now. We looking over the trees. We're not tripping because Deville's here to teach you the game, right? And show you how to make it happen, because this is important to me. This has been my God-given assignment, is to educate my community and those that will listen that yes, you can own a home, even though you've owned one in the past. Forgive yourself, start over. God forgave you, forgive yourself, and move on. There's life if someone had a divorce. There's life after divorce. You're not stuck having to live in a condo and rent someone. There's life after all of that. You hit rock bottom. Will just told you, man, the chain was on the door. You have no job, but guess what? It created something in you. It birthed something in you. And that's what we're here to do today. So again, I'm Greg Deville. Whether buying, selling, or investing, now we talk about investment properties, using equity in your home, and Will's got some great programs. You're going to want to be at this conference because he's going to share some information that you can use to get to that next level, even if you own a home and now you want to go into investment, using other people's money to create wealth. We're going to talk about it. Sign up, go to my Facebook page, Greg Deville, or go to Deville Realty and look up the QR code there, and all you need is on that QR code. Again, I'm Greg Deville, broker owner at Deville Realty Group, right here at 702.5. We want to take the opportunity to give everyone the chance to be at the Wealth Mindset Conference, Las Vegas, April 16th, 2023. That's right. It's going down. We have 2 days. We just left this morning, the Red Rock Hotel and Resort. It's going to go down, right? The Red Rock. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. VIP passes are available. Listen, we're here to have the knowledge imparted. Tell your family, tell your friends, you've got to be there, all right? So the engineer said, I got to get out of here. She said, I don't care where you go. You got to get up out of this air chair. So I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to turn it over. I want to thank again Mr. Will Roundtree for being my guest today, for sharing so much great information and inspiring many of you to even want to come and hear more, because the brother's got a wonderful story and we want to hear more about it. And April 16th is the day to hear it. So again, my contact information for whether buying, selling, or investing, 702-349-0162. 702-349-0162. Greg Deville, Deville Realty Group. Until I talk to you next week, Las Vegas, have a great, great weekend. Be safe. Watch out for your neighbor next door. We are our brother's keeper. And listen, until I talk to you next time, may God's best be yours.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yeah. Jones. Hey. Greg Deville was at it, man. Hey. If you want the real, holla at Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. If you want the real, listen to Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. I'm talking real estate, building wealth, making money for your family and yourself. Now tune in. We here to help. Now tune in. We here to help. You want to be a broker, you want to be broke. You want to be the joker, you want to be the joker. You got to bring more to the table than your hope, dreams, and wishing. I can feed you fish or I can take you out fishing. I can show you the vision, addition and division, mathematic equation. Make the money flip like an acrobatic, amazing. Greg Deville help you build the foundation. I'm saying, if you want the real, holla at Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. If you want the real, listen to Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. I'm talking real estate, building wealth, making money for your family and yourself. Now tune in. We here to help. Now tune in. We here to help.